here from Club Sapphire, and actually, this is exciting. We're in a different room than we usually record in.
Yes, we are.
This is the, what do you call this?
The waiting area?
Well...
The, I don't know, like...
The guy waiting area?
Sit and chat. It's not just guys, though, like...
Okay, yeah, so this is the area, like, in the back as you're getting ready to go play in one of the playrooms. So it's kind of nice because, well, as I mentioned, like, this is a place that actually single guys are allowed to go to and just kind of relax and wait and that type of thing. If someone wants to kind of bring them into a room, they can do that because they can't.
Or couples.
Or couples, of course. We've seen many couples just kind of sitting here relaxing before or after. They've been playing that they'll come back here and just kind of relax because it's some nice couches and it's kind of fun and it's a very sexy area because people are kind of wandering around naked and the lockers are right here, so people are changing.
Right.
And I can be pervy, so I kind of like these seats, so which is always good. But yeah, and of course single guys can't wander around in the back by themselves, right. Unaccompanied by a woman. So this is a good place for them to just kind of sit and relax and just wait. But if you're a single guy, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Go out and chat and talk to people. You'll probably have better odds that way. But so we did want to talk about a couple things today.
Great.
Boy, you're so quiet today. You're so mellow. So we wanted to talk about condoms and we wanted to talk about safety.
Right.
Two very important things.
Yep.
Actually, the conversation about condoms came from someone who had emailed us, a member of Sapphire here, that wanted to say, hey, can you guys talk about condoms? Because that does seem to be a question mark with a lot of people. So, and of course, if you have any questions, you can always email us right there too. That's always good. But so condoms. So we've been playing now for 6 years or so with other couples and that type of thing. And condoms are one of those things that they tend to be just kind of a given, I found.
I mean, at least with us, all of our experiences, it's been like something that we've never really even had to discuss with people. It just, it is. And, that's not to say 100% across the board, but, pretty much, it's always just been a given. Condoms are used. Right.
It's not an ask thing. Is it okay if I don't use a condom? It's just, you just do that.
But there's no reason, if it makes you feel more comfortable, when you're discussing the logistics of how everything's going to go down, that you bring up the fact that one of your rules is condoms.
And I have talked to actually quite a few women over the years who have said, though, that they have run into condom problems. And I can think of two situations, actually, where in fairly, I say group situations, not just one-on-one situations, where the question mark came up because of problems that people had in the past. I remember one time I was here with a couple, or two couples I was hanging out with, and I put a condom on, and then but it wasn't kind of my turn for the sex. And so I was, I don't know, eating her out or something along those lines. And then when there was a chance, I just kind of went in there and stuck it in. And she's like, do you have a condom on? I'm like, yeah. Why are you even asking? But I didn't, spend the time with the wrapper and all that kind of thing right then because I had already done it.
Right.
But she had said that she had run into that in the past, and I actually remember you and I were actually having a threesome where something very similar had happened too, where later on, cause that's right. I was eating her out and she was on her back and you were sitting on her head, sitting on her face. So she couldn't see anything. And so then, then I did my thing and had sex with her. And then later on she's like, and you had a condom on, right? I'm like, yeah, of course. And she's like, okay, because there's been times if I don't watch or whatever, that guys think they're sneaky.
This was someone that we knew really well, and she trusted.
Yeah.
But that was a little bit different. But you've got to watch out for yourself too, and make sure that if that's a rule of yours, that you are, making sure that happens, that you do get that condom on, or he puts that condom on. Right,
yeah. And now you've had issues in the past, or not, I say in the past, we started out and you were fine with latex condoms, and then over the years you just kind of discovered.
Right, I've become allergic to latex, and a lot of women are. Like for me, I can't even wear like latex gloves on my hands, or anything like that. So I actually discovered it when we were on one of the cruises and we were having a lot of sex, and you just use whatever condom the guy brings. I never needed to have condoms. I figured they're going to bring what works for them, and I'm not picky, so whatever. And I realized that I needed, I probably had a latex allergy after being with several people on that cruise.
So it was the quantity of latex allergy.
Yeah, it was the quantity. Like
too much sex for you.
Once maybe I might be okay, but more than that, and I started to have some issues. So.
Right, because we've been having sex since we were teenagers, you and I. So it's like that was never really too much of something that ever came up.
Right.
So it was kind of
and you
news
can
to
develop allergies, later in life or whatever.
Exactly.
So it's a good idea to bring condoms with you, and that can kind of, especially if you have a preference, that can kind of, show them that is, without having to have that conversation of, okay, my rule is condoms, which is totally okay to have that conversation, but you can always be like, this one or this one, give them a choice, or just hand it to them and be like, okay, fuck me now, if you provide your own condoms, especially if you need a specific size, I guess ladies wouldn't care, but you can have to, like, hopeful and realistic.
It's hopeful, or it's funny because I use the magnums, the larger ones, and I just wanted to say that on the video. Yeah, okay. No, there was a point. I promise. But there's been many situations over the last few years where, I'm about to have sex with a woman and she's like, "Is that latex free?" And I'm like, "Oh no." And oftentimes she'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, we've got," they brought them because they knew that she had an allergy. But then I realized that that's just regular size and I need to actually have a larger size. And so I specifically went out and bought latex free large size ones, which they have. They're just hard to find for some reason. But they do exist at, all the drugstores and that type of thing are online, I guess. But, and so now it's I'll have my stack of, magnums in one pocket and a couple of the
latex and non-latex.
The latex in one, and then the non-latex of the larger ones, because that's what I might need if the woman has an allergy.
Right.
Then I'm prepared. Even though she's probably prepared with just the regular ones, the larger ones are harder to find. So it's good to just be.
And the
as
club
ready
does
as possible.
provide condoms in all the rooms. So
Yeah,
there's a little bowl of them. So you never have to worry about, oh shit, I didn't bring one. You might have to worry about, oh shit, they're not non-latex. So, do carry, if you have that specific allergy, then do carry those on you because, or deal with your consequences. I don't know. How badly do you want to have sex with this person?
Yeah. Well, we have, I do know that we have talked to people. I know one group of people off the top of my head that actually is they have sex as a group without condoms, but to be invited into that group of people, then they get tests and that type of thing beforehand to even see if that's okay, because that's how they prefer to play. But that, I think, is the exception in the rule.
Well, I think that's very rare.
Yeah. At least in the lifestyle, because people, it's just better safe than sorry and all that, and so it's but yeah, there's condoms
and
and
there's gotta
bowls.
be a ton of trust in that too.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other.
Yeah. But there's bowls in all the rooms, so they're always within reaching distance. So you're always kind of prepared about that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Something I do want to say is we're all using condoms, right? Clean up after yourself. Don't leave a condom.
Yeah.
In the room, on the bed, whatever. Remember if you take it off because you need to use another one, remember where you put it. I don't know, do something, because nobody wants to clean that up. Clean up after yourself.
Yeah, that's an etiquette thing.
No one wants to actually accidentally step on it or lay down on it or whatever. Seriously, clean up after yourself.
Yeah, because I think probably in one of our next ones or future ones we'll talk about club etiquette and that type of thing, because apparently that is a very common problem. Actually, it is a common problem, because I remember one time that I volunteered and there was the randoms kind of around that.
Now, I've personally never had an issue with it. Like, our volunteers are fantastic at cleaning everything up. Or everybody is just doing a really good job of throwing their shit away. But I know it has happened and it could happen. So yeah, do clean up after yourself.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing. So, and as far as safety is concerned, in general, I mean, we haven't really run into too many issues. I know that there are issues that come up. They're pretty rare at this club, as far as I've heard, which is nice. I mean, I think Seattle folks generally are fairly friendly and that type of thing, and kind of on the ball. And they're very good here about checking people. Not checking is not the word. Like, making sure that the right type of people are kind of coming in the front doors. I mean, I can't think of creepy guys or whatever. I mean, that type of thing is so rare. But I do hear horror stories all the time from clubs around the country that have problems. I know it was a conversation online just in the last week about a club somewhere that was having an issue. A couple went in for the first time, and they had a specific room that was dedicated, that was couples only. And a lot of clubs have that. They don't really have that here because pretty much it's all couples only in the back, unless someone kind of brings a guy in with them. But some places actually have sections that are like no guys allowed at all. It's just couples. And there wasn't security there basically protecting that rule from happening. And so there were single guys just kind of wandering around and like continuously and bothering this couple because they specifically went into that room knowing that they didn't want any of that. Do you remember the time? Okay, so like the very first cruise we went on. Okay, this is a very similar story to this. Very first cruise we went on, we met this amazing couple, Australian couple, gorgeous couple. We had a great time with them the first night, and then the second night, before we got on the ship, and the second night we were on the ship, and we're like, hey, we want to play with you guys again, and like, perfect. So we go into the giant playroom, and it's a playroom with like 100 beds on it, that type of thing, and like it's packed. So we're like, let's just go to the other one that we had seen on the tour. So we go downstairs, and it's like a room that it's kind of in the back. So we're like, oh, this is perfect because there's only like maybe 5 or 6 beds in the whole place, like regular queen size beds. And so and it has like these like drapes that you can drape and kind of close off. So the 4 of us start playing, and we're there a few minutes, and a guy peeks his head in. And he's like, hey, can we join you? Or can I join you? We're like, yeah, no thanks. Close the curtain. And then, like, a couple minutes later, another guy just kind of starts staring in, and it's like, hey, can I get in there? We're like, no, and close the curtain again. And it happens over and over. We're playing with this couple for like probably 2 hours, a really long time in there because we're having a great time. And it happens like half a dozen times, and we're like, come on. And then we finish up and go. And then the next day we find out that is the room specifically for single guys to go in and basically join couples. So we were like, we were in the wrong spot. Yeah. So it's one of those things where you just kind of want to be aware of your surroundings and just like, pay attention during the tour, I guess is the theme of that story, because we were just like, God, there's a lot of single guys here. And we're like, but it was because they were supposed to be there. We weren't. We were probably the rude ones in the fact we kept saying no to everybody. There probably were some hot guys. We kept saying no,
and then we were holding up, like, taking up 2 mattresses. So.
And we were there a long time. Yeah. Live and learn. Yeah. So, but we haven't really run into security issues or people being problematic. I hear stories occasionally about something. I mean, but this is one of those really nice clubs that they are really, really on the ball with that. They have volunteers here. Like, I volunteered once as a hall monitor / cleanup guy, and it was fun. And if you get a chance to volunteer, definitely do that. Get on the volunteer list for any parties because they need all the help they can get, and it's your club, so want to keep it as awesome as possible. So
be
your
a part
help,
of it.
Yeah, your help is, and of course you get like credit for free parties, so that you can't beat that. But being a hall monitor was very interesting. I mean, I think the worst thing I had to deal with as far as problems and security was people trying to bring alcohol into the back area, and you can't do that. Have alcohol and sex connected type of thing, so you have to keep your alcohol outside. I mean, that was my security. That was me as a bouncer. That's what I can do, because I don't know what I would do if someone ended up being problematic.
I'd have a dance off.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be the extent of what I could do with them. I'm a pretty tough guy. Yeah. Okay.
Because you're dominant.
Because I'm dominant. That's right. That's right. So, yeah. So, if you have any questions for us or anything you want us to talk about in a future video, definitely email us. Again, the address is right below, and we do check that often. And we're also on the Facebook group too. We try to keep on that, and the Facebook group is getting pretty big, which is pretty awesome. You definitely want to be a member of the club so that you can join the Facebook group, because it's a fun way to connect with people before a party, after a party, and really get to know people a little bit more than you might actually at one of the events. So definitely do that. Anything else you want to say?
No. I think we're good.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.